Dear students, in this lecture we are going to discuss two reaction theory. So far, in previous lecture we discussed effect of armature flux on main field flux, that is armature reaction, for three extreme cases. Unity power factor, (90° lagging power factor, and 90° leading power factor. And we saw the various magnetizing and demagnetizing effects, means sometimes this armature flux helps the main field flux, sometimes it opposes the main field flux. But the power factor may not necessarily be unity or exact 90° lagging or exact 90° leading. What about the power factors when the power factor angle is in between 0 degree to 90°, either lagging or leading? The other conditions. Unity power factor means, say power factor angle, internal power factor angle, this is 0°, right? That's why cos psi will be equal to, this implies cosine of psi will be equal to 1, that is unity power factor. This psi is nothing but angle between the internal induced EMF E and the armature current IA. We know what is induced EMF. Induced EMF because of the main field flux. This induced EMF is not the same EMF which is being available at the terminals because of other reason. One reason is armature reaction. Armature reaction disturbs the main field flux. That's why the corresponding EMF generated is also disturbed. If main field flux is increased, that is magnetizing effect, then correspondingly this will also be increased. If we are considering demagnetizing effect of armature reaction on main field flux, that is main field flux is reduced, then the net EMF will be induced. That's why I am saying that the EMF available at terminals of armature windings is different than the internal induced EMF. We will see in detail later. So coming to our topic of effect of armature flux on main field flux for various power factors. So these three extreme cases have been covered in the previous cases in detail. Now we are going to discuss the same effect for the remaining cases, various cases where angle, power factor angle, internal power factor angle may be suppose 10°, 5°, 5.3°, like that, any angle between 0 to lagging or leading, both. So the theory given by Blundell, known as Blundell's two reaction theory, states that the effect of armature flux for any power factor angle between 0 to 90° may be analyzed by resolving the armature current into two components, one along D axis and one along Q axis. I think we have discussed about D axis and Q axis in our previous lectures. Okay, quickly we can recall, let us say this is our stator part, and let us have salient pole structures. Let us say 4 pole. Four-pole structure. Let us take this as north pole, this south, north, south. So the axis passing through the center of poles is known as d-axis, direct axis. So this is also d-axis, this is also d-axis, as it passes through the center of poles, and the axis passing midway between two adjacent d-axis is known as q-axis. So one q-axis is this is q-axis, and this is also q-axis. The axis passing through two adjacent d-axis is known as q-axis. So this is mechanical theta. So for 4-pole structure, this is 90, so this is 45 degree mechanical. So what will be electrical degree? If this angle is 45 degree mechanical, so electrical will be P by 2 into theta mechanical, that is 4 by 2, that is 2 into 45, that is 90 degrees. So remember, the electrical angle between two adjacent T and Q is always 90 degree electrical. Don't be confused with this 4-pole structure. If you will take 2-pole structure, so obviously theta electrical will be equal to theta mechanical. So between d axis and q axis, this is quadrature, q for quadrature. The angular displacement is 90 degree electrical, right? So this theory says that by resolving the armature current into two components, one along d axis, one along q axis, we can analyze the effect of armature reaction. Fine. So let us take one case. Let us take when psi is between 0 degree and 90 degree lagging. Let us take any angle lagging for this case. So as shown in figure, we have one component, let us draw afresh here. So this is q axis, this is d axis. So first draw the main field flux phi, or represent it by phi f, main field flux. So we know that what will be the axis of main field flux along the poles, d axis, axis of poles. So we know that EMF induced is proportional to minus n d phi by dt. Phi is sinusoidally distributed, nearly sinusoidally. So if phi is some maximum phi m sin omega t, so this will be equal to minus n, and d phi by dt will be equal to phi m cos omega t, right? So cos 90 degree minus theta sin theta, so we may write some maximum value, or you may write phi m. This is t, right? So take omega also here, right? Take omega also. So I am writing some maximum value em sin omega t minus pi by 2. Fine. Sin 90 plus theta cos theta sin 90 minus theta cos theta, we know it very well, right? So we know that this EMF induced lags the main field flux in time frame. We are talking about time phasor diagram. So let us represent E somewhere here, lagging 90 degree electrical. So if phi-f lies along d axis, so obviously EMF will lie, or we can say EMF will always lie along q axis. Why? We know. So let us take psi between 0 and 90 degree, and we know that psi is internal power factor angle between internal EMF or excitation EMF E and armature current IA. So take IA, this psi satisfying this condition. So this will be IA. Resolve this IA into two component. So this will be ID, component of IA along d axis, and this will be IQ, component of IA along quadrature axis, q axis. Therefore, we may write effect of IA armature reaction due to IA will be equal to effect of armature reaction due to ID plus effect of armature